Welcome to another edition of Bearcats All Access. I'm your host, Marshall Kramsky. Cincinnati coming off of a tough loss in football on the road against Colorado. The bye week coming at the perfect time. We talked to head coach Scott Satterfield on the strategy to win the bye week before playing West Virginia on the other side of it. Plus, one of the best punters in the country, Mason Fletcher, he sits down to join the show. Cincinnati basketball, it starts in just a few days. We have a breakdown and coverage of both the men's and women's team leading up to it. Bearcats All Access, that and so much more coming up right now.
Bearcats All Access, sponsored by All Good Home Improvements.
Coach, coming off the Colorado loss, what, after watching the tape, were your biggest takeaways?
Yeah, well, I think probably they got some talented players as a big takeaway. You know, with Travis Hunter, I mean, was as advertised, just an outstanding player. You know, the speed they have at wide receiver, I think really, you know, you can see that on film, and then just in person, man, they really can go. Shedeur can get them the ball. Defensively, they got some really good cover guys that played man-to-man on our guys, and then they got some good defensive linemen that can get after the passers. That's really what it came down to. The big plays we gave up, and then, you know, ultimately offensively, we had, you know, about 3 series where we didn't do much.
What do you learn about your team from a loss like that?
Well, I think the main thing that we took away was that fact that, you know, we get down right before half, and that would have been a time to say, oh, man, what's happening here? It would have been real easy for our guys not to come back out in the second half. I thought we did. We came back out. I thought fourth quarter, you know, we get down 31-14, but then we battle back in, make it a one-possession game, and, you know, with 3.5 minutes to go in the game. Unfortunately, didn't finish the way we wanted to finish, but I liked our fight.
Does this second bye come at a good time for you guys?
It does. You know, I think both byes come at a good time. You know, certainly coming off of long trips, obviously. But also, you know, we just played a 3-game stretch where it's a very physical game, got a lot of guys dinged up. So really trying to get those guys healed up this week.
How much, you mentioned, you know, trying to get healthy, a little banged up. Do you feel that fatigue was a factor out in Colorado for your team?
I didn't necessarily feel it at the time, but you go back and watch the film, you know, I think, like, particularly defensively, we're not flying around like we did at the Arizona State game. I thought, you know, we played very physical Arizona State. You got a lot of hats to the ball, which we knew we had to do. Thought we were a little tentative, you know, we were not, you know, pulling our trigger like we did against Arizona State. It's noticeable on film. So, you know, if I was fatigue or a little bit of hesitancy, it's not fully, you know, just pulling our trigger to go make those plays. And I don't know if they had something to do with that, and they may have with their speed, you know, but I think certainly was something that was different, that was off a little bit in that game defensively.
Looking ahead in a couple weeks when West Virginia comes to town, you get your favorite, a noon kickoff, and also 1 win away from being bowl eligible. Yeah. How much is that circled as you go through 2 weeks? How quickly does preparation start?
Yeah, I mean, we're starting. You know, we're already starting to look at West Virginia this week. You know, it's going to be it's a critical game for us, obviously, at this point in the season. You got 2 games at home, so we certainly got to defend the nip. It's been one of our goals all season. We know what's on the road, you know, 2 top 15 teams in the country that we have to play on the road. So certainly the home field advantage that we have to take advantage of that. But whenever we're going to play, let's go out and play our very best. So it's about the preparation. It's about what we're doing this week. How can we get our guys ready to go?
There's this cliche more in the NFL about winning the bye week. How does your team win the bye week?
Yeah, I mean, I think just, you know, guys living in the training room that need that, you know, some of those guys that are dinged up. How well can we get our young guys developed this week? I mean, I continue to focus on them, you know, and then just keep our guys sharp. I think that's going to be the main thing. But I think the 2 main focuses are getting our guys healthy and then really young guys trying to get better.
Practice this week or next week. Is this an opportunity for those young guys to try to get them more reps and see what they're working with?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think, you know, this practice throughout the week will be all about scrimmaging those guys at the end of practice, you know, 10 or 15 minutes each day. So we're still in, you know, 45 to 50 minutes worth of scrimmage time for the young guys. And I think every time we do that, there's certain guys that pop up. They're making advances. They're doing some really good things. And who knows, some of those guys will be helping us in the last 4 games.
Coach, thanks so much. Appreciate the time.
Appreciate it.
College basketball season is here in just a matter of days. We have a lot of coverage of both the men's and women's UC basketball team coming up.
Keys to Success, sponsored by Columbia Hyundai and Genesis of Montgomery.
Big 12 basketball media days took place last week in Kansas City. Both Bearcat teams represented, arriving in style. The women represented by Jillian Hayes, Tanaya Hilton, and Ari Jackson. The men by the big man, Aziz Bandego and Simas Lukosius. It was a long day, 5 hours of a lot of interviews, glitz and glamour, but rewarding as they return back to campus.
Your fan base is having a lot of joy right now, too, because you guys sold out season tickets for the first time since 2019, 2020. How have you seen the excitement around the program build?
Yeah, I think Cincinnati always supports basketball. We're at a place they love it. Coach knows that. The community of Cincinnati really is like a hard-working, blue-collar community. They appreciate people that invest in them. Having all these returning guys, I think our community loves that. I think our fans love that, and I think that they feel the energy that we're getting better as a program. They believe in what we're doing at Cincinnati. They love the city of Cincinnati. They love the university. And then it was great because as we went into the transfer portal, we're not just adding guys that fit us. That's always number one, as Coach knows. We added guys that fit around the returning guys, too.
Preseason rank number 20, first time since 2017, 2018. You guys have been ranked in the preseason in the AP poll.
Yeah, well, recognition's good, but I'm ready to get back to work. Yeah.
Coach, appreciate the time. I'll let you get back to work.
Katrina Merriweather, second year at Cincinnati. Coach, how are you feeling about this program heading into year 2?
Yeah, I'm excited. I feel like we are running our own race, and we're just going to take a step forward one at a time.
Oh, bam! Hers is leaning. Her
senior forward Jillian Hayes, an all Big 12 honorable mention selection.
I feel like I had unfinished business. Trina and her staff are incredible, and I just always say there's no other place I wanted to be. Cincinnati's home to me.
Appreciate you. Good work.
The most important thing is you got to want to be a Bearcat. And if what we put on the table is something that you think can benefit you, then come join the sisterhood.
I'm really proud that we have the group back that we do. Our staff is just always going to say we want people who want to be Bearcats.
Cincinnati hoop season, it's so close to being here. Head coach Wes Miller entering year 4 as the Bearcats men's head coach, and Katrina Merriweather entering year 2 with the Bearcats. Both coaches entering what we could call their sophomore year in the Big 12. Coach Miller, he brings back 6 of his 8 top scorers, and Coach Merriweather bringing back 5th-year senior Jillian Hayes, one of the top players in the Big 12. We hear from both head coaches on the Let's Rain podcast.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to a new edition of the Let's Rain podcast, revealing conversations with UC athletes, coaches, and administrators. I'm your host, Dan Horde. Our guest on this episode is UC women's basketball coach Katrina Merriweather, entering her 2nd year as head coach of her alma mater. Tell us a little bit about the returning players and the steps you are hoping they take this year.
Yeah, what I want to see Ari do is continue to develop in her maturity. I think she's such a fun-living kid. I mean, everybody wants to be around her. You know, she's the life of the party. She's constantly making everybody laugh, and I don't know that she really has realized how good she is. And so we're trying to get her to understand how big of a role she can play and the goals that she can accomplish within this league. You know, she has a storied background. You know, her mother played in the WNBA, and she calls just about every great player or coach in the WNBA auntie. And I think it's such a cool thing for her, and we want her to have the same tenacity that you can hear in her mother's voice even today. But part of it is just Ari's such a good kid. You know, like, she just wants to be out there and have fun and play. And we want her to maximize her potential, and I think that she's grasping onto that, and that's been fun to watch over the last couple of months, where she's realizing that we also have some really good players that have come in, so she has to play a little harder and a little better, and she's stepping up to that challenge.
Your newcomers include 3 transfers and a true freshman.
Yep.
What impact are you looking for the newcomers to have this year?
We wanted Chloe Mann to be a part of this program. She's another one, fun-loving. You're going to see she's very animated in her facial expressions. She keeps us going in practice, but she's extremely athletic, extremely competitive. Her and Reagan Jackson both, being from Texas in that area, they're good friends, but yet they compete and make each other better every day. And Chloe's really what we needed in terms of having another ball handler that was a 3-level scorer that takes pride defensively, because that's what they do at Duncanville down there in Texas. So she's going to be an immediate impact. The good problem is we have quite a few people who could start, but I think what we're going to do is sell her on being our sixth woman and bringing all the energy off the bench. Alliance Diba is doing a phenomenal job rebounding the ball. Her and Jill are going at it every day, so Jill's going to get better because she's going against her, and Alliance has likely not gone against anybody like Jill, so she's getting better as well. Daily Dunn, the shooter from LMU, is doing just that, running the floor, spotting up, giving us some much-needed exterior threats. And last but not least, Tanea Hilton is going to be everything that we hoped that she would be. And she is elevated practice. She's creating for herself and other people, and her and Jill have a really great relationship, so that's been fun to watch.
You recognize my guest. Heading into his fourth year as UC's men's basketball coach, Wes Miller. Retaining players isn't easy to do in this day and age when they're really good. Other schools try to pry them away. These players left money on the table in many instances. How does the continuity help in getting so many key players to come back?
It should help. And it's our job to make sure it helps. Number one, when you're in practice, you're so much further ahead because there's just certain things that guys that have been in the program understand and are now habits. And when you have new players and incoming players, you're trying to get them to understand how to do things. That's number one. And then you're trying to make those things habits so they do them without thinking about them. Returning players, if they've been here working, which our returning players have, they're doing those things unconsciously now. That really improves your rate of learning and your rate of growth. The second thing, when there's examples in front of you as an incoming player how to do it, I found that increases the learning rate as well. So now our incoming players, whether they're transfers, whether they're freshmen, they can look out in the court and see, okay, it's not just coach telling me this is how we're supposed to do it. I can see somebody doing it correctly. And I think that matters over time. So it's a compounding effect if we're approaching it the right way. And I say if because it's our job to go out and approach it the right way.
From down under to Cincinnati, Mason Fletcher, one of the best punters in the country, sits down this week on Bearcats All Access.
Bearcats All Access. Sponsored by All Good Home Improvements.
I'm sure you've been asked this 1,000 times, but when did American football cross your radar?
I kind of had a bit of a funny experience playing Australian football. My dad played, and there's a thing called the father-son rule where if your dad plays 100 games, I think it is for one team, that team can take you in the draft and not use a draft picked up. That was all worked out, and then I had a stress fracture in my spine like right before the draft happened, so I was in a position where I needed something to do, and I had a friend that was playing at Texas A&M at a time that I went to school with, and he went through Pro Kick Australia, which has got a lot of these Australian guys over here now punting, and I started watching American football then and college football then, and so I thought, why not go over there, play high level, borderline professional sports, and then get my education paid for, and the rest is history.
You brought up your dad. He wasn't just some Australian football player. He was a legend over there, is a legend over there. What was it like growing up with a dad who, in your country, was just such a big deal in sports?
Yeah, it was different for sure. You kind of, not live a sheltered life, but it's different. Everyone knew who he was. We got pulled up in Turkey and Greece and stuff, and people knew who he was, and it's been everything for me, and he never treated us any differently, and we never treated him any differently, and I'd like to think we're just normal people.
And you brought up your brother as well. When did he get into the picture for American football? He
probably watched me play and thought that sounds pretty exciting and looks pretty exciting, and we were in dialogue across that whole kind of period, and he had a crazy leg talent, and I thought I probably suggested to him that this is maybe something that you should do.
The two of you, I think, have a few crazy life experiences when it comes to playing college football. Going to Arkansas when he was playing there, what was it like going to play a college football game against your brother with your parents there as well?
Yeah, it was very full circle. So you mentioned my dad before, and he wore number 31, and Max wore 31 in Arkansas, and I wore 31, and we wore 31 growing up. Mom and Dad being able to be there and watch me and Max on the field, and a little different, but yeah, it was very full circle and surreal, to be honest with you.
Now your brother's your teammate.
Yeah, people always ask me, like, did you have a part in that? And to be honest, not really. It kind of just worked out. He was in a situation where he wanted to move on, and Coach Combs, watched his film and absolutely loved him. And
it all worked out. What I say is perfect.
Punters don't get too much notoriety normally. You're the exception to the rule, whether it be awards, whether it be people just recognizing your talent. How have you handled that? Has watching your father helped at all with that?
For sure. My dad being who he was has been really special in that sense for me. He's given me some great advice, and I think as well just the coaches we've had here, and Coach Combs has been great for that for me, and then Aaron Himmler, our trainer, is someone that I'm really close to as well, and he's been great sort of keeping my head screwed on, I guess you'd say.
I know we're still a few weeks away, but when senior day rolls around, that moment where your parents will be here with you, what is it you're most looking forward to, knowing the journey you've been on that they've been on for senior day?
I think just being able to walk out with them. They haven't been here for all of it. They've been there with me in spirit, in a way. They watch every single game. The last one against Colorado was on prime time for us, but in Australia it was on our ESPN as well. And the UCF game, they woke up at 4 a.m. to watch. And I think just being able to walk out with them in person is just going to be something that's going to be really special, and we'll be able to talk about forever.
Thanks so much. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
New Cincinnati Bearcats forward Dylan Mitchell transferred from Texas, where he was a 2-year starter for the Longhorns. Mitchell, when he was signed in the spring, was rated the 20th best portal pickup in the country. He's going to bring a good offensive and defensive skill set, plus some swagger to this Bearcats team with his big smile and signature chest bump. Let's check out Dylan Mitchell, mic'd up.
No, I've never heard you call foul. We go white. Shot, CB. Hey, don't be mean to me. You nervous to scrimmage? That's crazy. You nervous? Come on now, come on. Come on now. I see both. I see both. I'm up. Good, AZ. Under. Hey, and one. Hey. Hold on. Move, AZ. Yeah. After that, it was over. So that first one is pressure.
Cincinnati Bearcats baseball third baseman Carrington Cross was a key piece in the Bearcats' success last season. Cross is coming back for another year at UC. Last year, Cross was in the top 10 in the Big 12 in runs, stolen bases, and walks, and he led the Bearcats with 71 hits. The UC Digital team has a story to share with Carrington Cross.
Hi, Carrington Cross, 5th year, second base, third base, or wherever else they want to put me this year. Yeah, that's my little flex is I'm born in Hawaii. I don't remember much about Hawaii, and then we came to Indianapolis and pretty much picked up baseball right away, played some basketball. Tennis was the main one I played competitively, so I wish I probably would have stuck with in high school, maybe stayed a little bit more in shape than I am now, but stuck with baseball, and then in Brownsburg, it's kind of strive to be great at baseball. They were the first ones to truly give me the offer, and so that built trust right away and made me think that they believed in me. And I had a good relationship with the old coaching staff. I came here on a visit, and we were just walking around. He was like, "So you want to do this?" And my mom was there, and I never talked to her. And I was like, "You know what? Yeah." So then the whole car ride back was like, "Why'd you commit so fast?" I was like, "I don't know. I just thought it was right." I'd say it's the same as every other year. Nothing changes, at least it shouldn't change. It should be the same thing, same work ethic, same emotions. At the end of the day, it's just a game. I'm just a little closer to coming to an end, I guess, so I'm kind of cherishing it. Nothing else much changes. I mean, yeah, definitely. Especially to freshmen. I know I redshirted as a freshman, so I kind of know what that's about, and a lot of people think of it as a bad thing. So I'm like the guy to tell you, like, hey, it actually helped me develop as a person and a player, and as well as just experience-wise. I feel like I have a different mindset almost, and I have info on how to learn the way we base run, stuff like that. Being okay to fail. I used to beat myself up bad. I still kind of do, but I'm okay at getting over with it, leaving the mental stuff on the field, and then when I'm off, it's good done. So that's something big. And then understanding that you don't have to be big to have all the tools. Yeah, it's about just understanding how to use your body to the full potential. I'm trying to stay away from individual goals. I don't want to like chase them, but it's more of just being the veteran on the team, like understanding what we can do and how to bring people with us and get to the NCAA regional. As a fifth year, that's kind of the goal I want first. Obviously, you want to win Big 12 championships. I just want us to win. I just want us to get there and end on a good note for me personally. But as a team, obviously it's just building up towards a bigger, better program, just slowly making our way up, whether that's getting new recruits, all along those lines, just get better every day. I don't know. Whether that's maybe signing, maybe undrafted, or then again, I have a chemical engineering degree, so we'll see. Wherever it takes me, I'm up for it.
That's all the time we have this week on Bearcats All Access. The Cincinnati football team on a bye. They get ready for West Virginia on the other side of it. The Bearcats basketball team, the men, they tip off November 4th against Arkansas Pine Bluff. Make sure to tune in every week to Bearcats All Access, 11:30 a.m. on Saturdays right here on WCPO 9.